We have breaking news from the NHL. The coaching carousel has finally made its first stop. The Vegas Golden Knights have found their man. We'll discuss this coming up next. Well, welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some breaking news from the NHL regarding the Vegas Golden Knights. They're set to hire their next head coach, which will be the third head coach in franchise history, and that is former Bruins boss Bruce Cassidy. Of course, Bruce Cassidy was a longtime Bruins coach, had a lot of success there, extremely good record, obviously a lot of playoff appearances, lots of success, certainly, didn't win a Stanley Cup, but did lots of other great things in Boston. And after he was surprisingly dismissed not long ago, he went to the top of a lot of teams' list of guys to talk to for their coaching vacancies. There's lots of teams out there with an open coaching position that we haven't really been able to get much news on so far. Obviously, Barry Trotz is another big name that's interviewed with many teams, and it's kind of, we were led to believe that his decision was kind of holding up the coaching market, if you will. And obviously some teams were not probably prepared to wait much longer, especially with a guy like Cassidy openly on the market. I think this is a really, really, really good fit, in my opinion. Bruce Cassidy's situation in Boston, to me, will be very similar to what he's going to in Vegas. So I think it's going to be very familiar territory. He's used to being in a market that demands high, excellent results. He's used to working with a team that has a good combination of veteran leaders with a little bit of youth mixed in. But for the most part, an older team that's in win now mode. Obviously, there's lots of players there: Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, etc. Pietrangelo, Shea Theodore, Robin Leonard. That the older players that are ready to play and win right now should be a good fit with a guy like Bruce Cassidy. I mean, certainly, if you take a look at their other coaches they've had in Gerard Gallant and Peter DeBoer, Cassidy will come as the third head coach in team history. A little bit different. They're all, they might have some similarities, but there's certainly some differences there as well. And St. Cassidy's not afraid to be tough on players, that's for sure. Obviously, that was really the only thing we kind of heard about his demise in Boston. At the end of it was that he didn't connect well to young players, and young players kind of felt they were afraid to make mistakes, things like that. But there's not really going to be a whole lot of that going on in Vegas. They have a veteran team that's trying to compete and win now. And if it wasn't for all the injuries that they've encountered over this past year, they likely would have been involved here in the playoffs as well. So to me, Bruce Cassidy is an excellent choice for the Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, we don't know the terms of the contract, how many years or how much money involved at this point. That could likely come out later. I said we'll find out later, hopefully soon enough, what happens with Barry Trotz. But for now, Vegas hires Cassidy. There was also word, as I talked about a couple days ago, that with the Stanley Cup Finals set to open tomorrow, that we know that Gary Bettman and the NHL are not really fond of huge news coming out around on game days of the Stanley Cup Final. They don't want to detract from the series and the teams, right? So there was quite possible that we could get some coaching news either yesterday, today, or possibly in the 2-day break between game 1 and 2, Thursday, Friday. So there's some news. Hopefully the rest of the coaching carousel starts to sort itself out here in the near future. But let me know your thoughts on Vegas hiring Bruce Cassidy to be the next head coach and third coach in franchise history. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with the latest news, rumors, and analysis on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.